Funny enough, I'm recording this video right after Collier had a huge 30 plus point game against Washington, which I still haven't watched and I'll probably watch at some point soon. But Collier to me is one of the most slept on, forgotten prospects in this class. High recruit coming out, and despite general inefficiency and stuff, turnover issues at USC, he's still been in my top 5-6 range even through the struggles, and that's because the creation flashes are obvious, and he's beginning to put it together now. Very few players in college basketball, or very few prospects in this class, make it look as easy as Collier does. His burst, his strength is crazy. This is a grown man move at 6'3", 6'4", built like a brick shit house. There are not very many players with the kind of speed to power that Collier has, just throwing this defender away, easy layup. And there are very few players who can walk into paint touches like Collier. Layups are obviously the best shots in basketball, and Collier creates them better than basically anyone in this draft class, except for maybe Nikola Topic, who I've talked about in the past a little bit. His first step, acceleration, attacking off the catch, unbelievable when he's in space. And it just looks so easy for him, which is a great heuristic that I rely on a lot, is if it looks easy at the college level, it's probably going to work at the NBA level. And if it looks hard at the college level, it's probably not going to work at the NBA level. And we see the same kind of play, right? Set up, easy, left to right cross, just great explosion, easily by the defender. And this one where the defender kind of reads it and stays in front a little bit, Collier still has the explosive long strides to wait out this defender in the air, finish with touch through contact. It's just really impressive. And even when he's not scoring, the ease at which he gets 2 feet in the restricted area has me very optimistic. He's definitely weaker as a finisher with his left. His touch just isn't that great with his offhand compared to his dominant right hands, but he's really potent, getting into the middle of the floor, snaking. I would like to see him expand the intermediate game. I don't mind Collier taking a little pull-up jumper here to keep the defense honest, but obviously it makes sense that he doesn't when he's so explosive and strong and fast that he can get into the paint whenever he wants. He certainly feels like he can get into the paint whenever he wants, and he's absolutely right. When you give him this much space, there's really nothing anybody can do except for hope that he throws up a brick at the rim, which unfortunately does happen from time to time. But this defender does a pretty good job of staying with Collier, but beautiful little quick behind the back. His change of direction here without slowing down is really impressive. And this is just kind of a bad attempt and honestly nice defense here. And I think the touch comes and goes, right? And also just the process here. Maybe you I would love to see him just take a floater here or even pass the ball down low, which he's a good passer, but we'll get to some passing stuff later. But the fact that he's able to get there so easily has me encouraged that he can work on the other stuff. He's super explosive off of 1 foot. Again, we see him snake back to his strong right hand, explode off of the off right foot, take contact in air, finish soft with touch, high off the glass. It's impressive stuff. And there just aren't prospects in this class creating off the dribble like Collier. And these are the kind of shots that I want to see more of for him. We know he can win in transition, get downhill, get to the line whenever he wants. His free throw rate being above 50 is insane for a primary point guard. But this is the stuff that I love. He has pretty good pick and roll craft, I will say. Good job setting up this screen where he kind of baits this defender right, crosses back left, snakes back to the right, and is able, putting up a little floater there, which he doesn't hit. He's not the best at these shots, but the willingness to seek out this intermediate game is such a key thing for all young guards for progressing their scoring game. It's something we always see, and Collier going through that is good. And part of my optimism with Collier's intermediate game is how ridiculous of a post scorer he is. He's a pretty untraditional isolation player. Collier is an okay shooter, and I definitely buy him improving as a shooter, but he's not the best shooter now. But you can't really play off of him because of how crazy strong and explosive he is, and the footwork is also fantastic. He's able to back this defender into the restricted area. Look at this initial bump right here, how far back that defender flies. Collier pump fake, beautiful little finish with touch there. He's such a gifted isolation mid-post face-up scorer, and it's a really cool trait for a guard. We see like guys like Jalen Brunson, Luka obviously being way bigger, exploit this. And against smaller, weaker guards, beautiful spin move, puts the shoulder into him. Great touch, finishing outside the restricted area. With the right hand, his touch is honestly quite good. Left hand touch is a work in progress. I like that he's willing to go to it. But the right hand touch on these kind of post-ish plays is really nice. And I love that Collier used this as like a failsafe when his burst doesn't work, because even really quick bursty players, like his raw first step is not the best in the world. I think his acceleration is really, really elite, but the first couple steps aren't always the quickest. I think some of that is technique as well. But I think the Collier, like a lot of guards will just pick the ball up in this situation, right? And then they're kind of in trouble. But the fact that Collier will hold his dribble, back this defender down, and he's like, okay, I'm just gonna post hook over you like I am a center. It's really diverse scoring stuff that I like to see in any prospects game, that Collier can win and create in a myriad of different ways. Just love this play. As once again, it looks easy. This does not look hard. Looks like he's walking this defender back into the rim, taking and getting whatever the hell he wants. But we see a bunch of the traits here, right? Nice change of direction, which we've seen before. He's great stopping and changing directions without losing his momentum. Spin move back to the right, takes contact, finishes off of 2 feet, which is so important to be able to do. I definitely would like to see him be more willing to play in the intermediate, because we see plays like this where he has like a wide open mid-range pull-up right here. And if defenses are going to sag off like this, he's going to have trouble with a lot of NBA defenders. But he's still able to like set up an ISO, get pretty deep into the paint, and I like that he tries this pass. One of the things with Collier to note is that though he turns the ball over a lot, I don't really care that much, just because a lot of time turnovers for young playmakers, as I talked about, isn't so damning, because he's trying these high-level reads where if he gets it through, it's a layup. And that's how you improve, right? You try, you make mistakes in game. That's the best way to improve as a passer. And also, like, USC's offense and spacing is so bad. Like, this is a very difficult pass, in part because there's a billion defenders here, because USC spacing is horrible. Obviously, every prospect benefits from spacing at the pro level, but I think Collier especially will, because of how dreadful USC's scheme is. But really good stuff here. Stop on a dime, pull up jumper, moving to the left. Want to see more of that. And then this right here, just a beautiful step back 3 over Cody Williams. Like, got to see Collier probably extend the pull up at least to a decent clip to hit his ceiling. And I think that's pretty possible, right? He has a good track of off dribble shooting going back to high school. Solid numbers this year. I would like to see the volume, especially off the dribble, get up. That's the main thing that I'm hoping to see. But the fact that he's such a crazy driving threat means that he doesn't have to be that amazing of a shooter to like be a good player, right? He just has to be good. He doesn't have to be an amazing shooter like some other players in this class. And I really do like his passing ceiling. He's not the best, like most consistent decision maker passer right now, but like I highlighted earlier, the willingness to try difficult passes. Like, this is really, really tough. Left hand live dribble skip pass through heavy traffic that gets deflected and tipped out. But like, if he makes this, that's a wide open 3. And these are the kind of passes that primary initiator point guards make. And the fact that he's willing to try this, and he's not like, clearly is like can play through mistakes, I think is going to benefit him greatly in the long term, because those passes will become more consistent and they're going to end up working out for him. And this is maybe like my favorite play of Collier's from the entire season. Like, surgical, absolutely surgical. Let's run it back really quickly. Talked about the screen craft. This defender's playing him well, but Collier's patient, goes over the screen once, twice, 3 times. And he's just beautifully reading this hedge, slipping the ball in where the defense isn't. On this last one, right, defense hedges out to stop Collier from going left, but he notices this, cuts back to the right, and has this beautiful little window, able to pass with one hand. Live dribble technique is great. And then this last play as well, we see him collapsing the defense and hitting a great pass to a cutter. He's going to be a monster on these like lay down passes. Great anticipation here too. He's falling out of bounds in heavy traffic. This is his target. This is his target when the ball is released. That does not look open. But Collier knows where Kobe's going to be, and he gets that through. And I think this is my case, right, for Collier as a top 5-ish player and potentially even higher. There are a lot of problems with him, right? The efficiency hasn't been great this year. The decision making and the turnovers have been questionable. I would like to see the shot get better. And though I think his defense is pretty solid, when he puts together, when he locks in, his tools guarding the ball are phenomenal. He's really quick laterally, makes some great rotations off the ball, but most freshman defenders have the awareness and focus issues he does. But the ceiling for Collier is obviously huge. And I think him falling in the draft could honestly be a good thing for him, so he isn't stuck on a team like the Pistons or the Wizards or the Spurs or something like that. Or I guess the Spurs would be okay because they have Wemby, but or the Hornets or something that are just not good development situations. But I think Collier is his ceiling is one of the highest, if not the highest of any player in this class. He could be a legit offensive engine as a guard who's leading, creating advantages, being the main guy. And you have to take that guy high. Even if he doesn't hit his ceiling, I think it's worth going for that kind of player, even if they don't work out. Because if they do hit, then you have a player you build your offense and you build your team around, and that's what you want, right?